Welcome back, everyone. My name is Eltimar, and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Pathfinder Kingmaker. Where we left off last time, we just arrived back at Oleg's Tavern. It's time to tell him that we beat the Stag Lord. Valerie catches up with us near the trading post and touches me on the shoulder. Eltimar, can I talk to you? Sure. Now that the Stag Lord is defeated, you rightfully own the stolen lands. Jamandi Aldori will endorse you and grant you the Baron's title. The girl looks at you with an interest and a little apprehension. What will you do when you sit on the throne? Eltimar, please don't say you haven't thought about it. There's enough work to do in the stolen lands. Running off bandits, founding a state, protecting the common people. Valerie nods. Please. To be honest, I didn't expect any other answer from you. You're a noble person, Eltimar, and I'm glad I could serve the good of your state. Thank you. I'm glad you're sticking around. We performed the lawful neutral action. Excellent. We're doing the right things. Oleg, talk to me here. A fine day to you. What brings you by? The Stag Lord's gone. We found his fortress and sent the villain into oblivion. Oleg looks at you with respect bordering on admiration and good riddance. Maybe now we'll be able to actually live in the stolen lands rather than just surviving. Oleg sighs. Without a doubt, more people will flock here now. It'll surely boost trade, but all the noise they'll bring with them. Well, that's none of your concern. I bet you can't wait to get returned to Restov and report your great victory. Restov awaits. I plan to set off right away. The fog seems to be thinning, but we should wait until it burns off completely. In the meantime, I'll gather some supplies for your journey to make sure you can enjoy your trip back to Restov. And we're off. We have to tell Jamandi Aldori about our victory over the Stag Lord.
A rest would be welcome.
Apparently we're still fatigued.
Good work. Nice to see I haven't lost my intuition for people. Not many would have managed to set out to the stolen lands and return with the Stag Lord's head. But I knew you could handle it. Congratulations are in order. Today, you'll receive the title of Baron before the High Society of Restov, and even Natala Surtova personally. God's bless her. Tomorrow, you'll be able to return to the stolen lands if you wish, but this time as a ruler.
Natala Surtova is the sister of King Noleski and one of the most influential politicians in Brevoy.
But matters of state can wait. For now, enjoy this feast in your honor. All the city leaders are here. It's a great opportunity to make some useful connections. Speaking of connections, let me introduce you to Kasil Aldori. He's my adopted son and apprentice. He's a trustworthy man. I'd like to send him with you as an envoy.
Kasil, a young half-orc with impeccable poise, performs a textbook perfect bow. Do you already know about my encounter with Tartuccio?
Of course. Keston gave me a full report. You dealt with the scoundrel perfectly. It would be naive to think that none of your neighbors will try to stick their hands in your affairs. Especially that sly fox Iravetti.
Jamandi, just what kind of game are you playing? I think I have the right to know.
Yes, you certainly have that right. But tell me, how well do you know Brevoy's history or the current political atmosphere? It won't be an easy explanation.
What do I need to know about the history of Brevoy?
What's now called Brevoy was originally two different countries, Rostland and Issia. 200 years ago, they were stuck in constant squabbles. Then, Korel the Conqueror showed up and united the two states into one. Such diplomatic tricks are easy to manage when you have dragons at your disposal. The so-called noble houses of Brevoy, mainly Surtova, Orlovsky, and Lebeda, once ruled over Issia. We, the Aldori, ruled Rostland. The royal house Rogarvia, founded by Korel the Conqueror, forced us into obedience. But 200 years isn't long enough to make peace with such a troubled history. Even 2,000 years wouldn't be enough for us to accept Issian rule. Brevoy is a country held together by a thread, and that thread grows ever weaker.
What do I need to know about the current political atmosphere?
We, the Aldori and the great noble houses, spent 200 years under the rule of invaders, the royal house Rogarvia. We plotted, we schemed, we stabbed each other in the back, but open confrontation was out of the question. But a few years ago, House Rogarvia disappeared. No one knows how or why, but one day, their manors were just empty. And the force that held Brevoy together, that kept us from a bloody feud, ceased to be. Brevoy is currently ruled by the House Surtova, the former kings of Issia, but their power pales in comparison to that of House Rogarvia when they were here. So now Surtova and Aldori stand facing each other, staring each other in the eye, waiting for the other to draw their sword. It's an untenable situation. No one wants a civil war that would drown Brevoy in blood, but peace between us is also out of the question.
What role do I play in your plans?
Rostland wants to regain its independence, and we will regain it. The power the Issians hold over us is humiliating and costly, and the Surtovas won't give us our freedom without a fight. That is, unless there is some external power that can force everyone to sit down and talk. Do you see where this is going? The stolen lands are disputed territory. Brevoy can't appropriate them without raising protests from each of the neighboring states. However, if some brave people were to found independent states on that land, it would be another matter entirely. My hope is that you and your future neighbors, Baron Hannes Drelev and Captain Mager Varn, will become our allies. But even your neutrality would introduce a powerful counterbalance to the aggression of the noble houses. Maybe, with your help, the inevitable division of Brevoy can occur without too much pain.
Don't the Sword Lords have any other foreign allies capable of playing this role?
We hope to get some help from the Maivani Eldori, the descendants of the Sword Lords who have fled from Koral's rage to build a new nation in the south. But the Issians know this well, and are doing everything they can to deny us this help. I won't go into details, but if my intelligence is correct, if a civil war starts in Brevoy, Maivan will be too occupied with its own inner troubles to interfere.
And what part does Restov play in this game?
Restov is a free city, proud of its independence from everyone, including the Aldori Sword Lords. But when it comes to Rostland's liberation, our goals align. This whole plan is our joint creation with Lord Mayor Yosef Selimius.
If Natala is already here, why did she let you grant me the title?
Actually, she could still intervene and disrupt the proceedings. But she's a Surtova. Their games are always complex and multi-layered. They're always looking for ways to turn defeat into victory. If she's decided to allow you to become a baron, it means she already has some idea of how she can turn it to her benefit. Let's consider how she could do so. Maybe she understands that Rostland will inevitably separate and she doesn't want a war. In that case, new states in the stolen lands give the Issians a reason to sit down and talk without losing face. But that's an optimistic view, and truth be told, it doesn't quite match up with what we've come to expect from the Surtovas. The more likely scenario is that Natala wants to win you over to her side. If war breaks out and at least one of you stabs us in the back, Rostland will be surrounded by enemies. That might be enough to bring about our downfall. But you would fall first, and your newly formed states would be left in ruin. The Issians always like to have someone around to pull their chestnuts out of the fire for them. A piece of friendly advice? Don't do business with House Surtovas, no matter what promises they make you. Any deal with the noble houses is a deal with devils.
So what happens next?
How should I know? We're in the middle of a big game. And today, you move from being merely a piece on the board to being one of the players.
Thank you.
I hope you have a better understanding of what's at stake.
I'm gonna go speak with the guests.
Enjoy your evening. When you're ready for the official part, come to me.
You got it. I am fatigued, but that's okay. I'll live, I guess. Let's talk to Lander. A handsome, well-dressed man of about 17 years old looks at you with a polite smile. So you're the famous slayer of the Staglords gang, soon to be Baron. Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Lander. Just Lander, no last name, no title. Well, let's just say I'm here incognito. Under my circumstances, it's wise to keep one's lineage to oneself. Truth be told, that's precisely what I wanted to talk to you about. You see, I'm an heir to one of the Brevoy's noble houses. I won't say which, but believe me, a newly appointed Baron with no connections would do well to have a friend like me. I travel the country in secret without servants so I can see it for myself. Not from a carriage window, but face to face with the people. My family would never approve, of course, but then I never asked. I need to know Brevoy if I'm going to rule part of it someday. I know Jamandi wants to impose her stepson on you as an emissary of Brevoy. Refuse. Take me instead. Don't look at my age. While they may have trained this half-orc to swing a sword, I've been training to rule since I was a child. I'll be of far greater use to you, both now and in the future. I have a firm position within my family. Are you from Restov nobility? Oh no, I'm not from here. I'm just visiting, you could say. I wanted to see for myself the heroes who managed to conquer the frontier lands, and the Lord Mayor was kind enough to invite me to this wonderful party. I'll consider it. Yes, do so. And carefully.
Forwards.
We really don't need to talk to Amiri or anyone, although we could. This man is obviously more comfortable on the battlefield than in the company of nobles. He's well built, but the expensive waistcoat he's wearing doesn't quite fit properly, as though it was borrowed. He has a few pale scars across his face, and his dark hair is drawn into an unkempt ponytail with a few streaks of grey running through it. He greets you with a broad smile and a firm handshake. Let me introduce myself. I'm Magar Varn, the new ruler of Dunsword, your neighbor to the east. Like you, I'm about to be Baron. Great job with the Stag Lord, by the way. Not everyone could exterminate a whole gang of bandits with such a small team. How'd you earn the title of Baron? Truth be told, my team and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Jamandi Eldori needed someone reliable to take and hold the territory. I'm the captain of a mercenary team, if that wasn't clear. The Varnling host. Have you heard of us? No? No matter. We've done work for Jamandi before. This time the task was simple. We just waltzed into the area, cleared it of the most brazen monsters, and built a small fort to hold the place. And for that, a barony and land to own. It was a dream job. How do you feel about being a noble? Looking at his rich clothes, Varn smirks. Like a pheasant on a plate. I've killed all kinds of monsters, but this is the first time I felt so strongly like turning away could get me eaten. He nods towards an arrogant man in the other corner of the room. See that lad? Baron Drelov? He's not like us. Who knows what generation of Baron he is? Didn't even shake my hand. You and me? We're like dirt beneath his boots. That's why those like us, the newly made nobility, need to stick together. Otherwise, he'd take my land and yours in the blink of an eye. Nice meeting you. Farewell. Goodbye. Once you settled in, come pay me a visit. I will do so. Do you guys have anything to say? The wine is alright, nice and strong, but the appetizers, barely a mouthful. People are not just celebrating, it seems your feat has given them new hope. Apparently someone's coming to talk to me.
Will you drink with me?
You see Casey approaching, the tiefling you met during the battle at Jamandi Eldori's mansion. As she draws near, she places one of the cups of wine she's holding into your hand. Of course, to beauty.
To beauty. It sweetens our happy days and brings solace to our dark and sorrowful ones.
Casey smiles and taps her cup to ours.
But jokes aside, I came to apologize. I know the words I said in our conversation with Lady Aldery might have offended you, but this was not my intention. The lessons life has dealt me were not easy. I've learned to be wary of new acquaintances, which is why I've refused to join your party. I hope you will forgive me for this weakness and for my harsh words. And I hope you will hear me out, for I have something to tell you.
She stops smiling. First I will listen to what you have to say, then I will decide what to think of your repentance.
Fair enough. Then listen. As it happens, I came across some very valuable information. What brave conqueror of these wild lands wouldn't be intrigued by news of an ancient shrine, possibly full of great treasures? A place such as this was discovered by my old friends from Kyrieru, and it just so happens to be located in lands that today become rightfully yours. My friends lack the courage to enter the shrine and seek the treasure, but what will stop us? We who know the taste of battle and have been singed by the same fire.
Casey stops and looks at us expectantly. What could be better than a treasure hunt? I'm ready.
I'm sure you'd like to finally gain your official title and celebrate your victory. And I don't like noisy parties and ceremonies. Find me when you return to your dominion. I'll rent a house in your capital. We can discuss the details of our expedition there.
She laughs quietly, fiddling with her cup.
So long, friend. I'll call you so today because soon enough, all you'll be hearing is, Your Grace, Your Grace, Your Grace.
Saluting you with a cup, the tiefling girl steps back and disappears into the shadows between columns. I like her. I'm gonna get her in our group. Alright, so we can talk to Natala Surtova and Chandra Murphy. Ah, yes, I see good old Restov hasn't changed a bit. Even the smell in the streets is the same. Natalia Surtova is discussing something with an unfamiliar old lady in a low voice. Upon noticing you, she breaks into a sugary, sweet smile. You were not only tough, but quick. Well, congratulations on your victory. Enjoy it. Well, you can. What do you think awaits me? Nothing good, I fear. The Aldori, our dearest friends, didn't deem it necessary to inform you of their plans, I presume. You see, they're preparing to separate from Revoy, and it will not be a peaceful process. They lack the strength, currently, hence using this legal loophole to create some independent allies. Once the civil war breaks out, your lands will be the first to endure a strike from Brevoy's forces. Perhaps they'll erect a memorial stone in independent Restov to honor you. Well, I wouldn't count on even that, really. Is that a threat? I would never. I simply wish to warn you in case you don't fully realize the fate that awaits you and your barony. It's a pleasure meeting you. May I take my leave? Before you leave, please allow me to introduce someone to you. I believe Jamandi has already attempted to impose a guard on you as an emissary. I'm guessing her low-born stepson, the greenskin boy, Castle. It's up to you, of course, but I would recommend a different envoy. Please meet Chandra Mervry, an experienced diplomat who's more familiar with Brevoy's politics than any brawler could be. The old woman sitting next to Natalia gives a slight bow. I'd be happy to help you establish diplomatic relations with Brevoy. I'll consider your proposal. Think on it. Do not make any hasty decisions. Let's mingle with some more guests. We don't need to talk to our teammates, but we can talk to Azvanki Kig. A handsome man with a weather-beaten face grasps your hand tightly in his rough, calloused palms. Unlike the rest of the guests in their festive clothes, he wears a simple robe. The only luxury you see on him is a holy symbol of a rastal made of solid gold. The other guests look at him with respect, some bordering on awe. Congratulations on your victory, he says in a deep voice. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Azvanki Kig, High Priest of Erastil in Restov. I saw how you fought beside Jamadi that night. Your god granted you impressive power. Yes, I used to serve Erastil on the battlefield, but those days are long past. Now I call on his power to heal those who have fallen from a roof more often than anyone wounded by sword. Of course, someone has to roam the forest and slay monsters, but I'm more useful to my congregation here, attending to more mundane affairs like hospitals, shelters, and charity fairs. I worship Erastil as well. Please, may I receive your blessing? It's a pleasure to know that the Baron is not only brave, but also pious. Let Erastil keep you in his grace. Bringing law into the Stolen Lands is a difficult endeavor. I'd be grateful for any help you could spare. This is a truly noble undertaking. I believe our community will be able to provide you with reasonable assistance. We will help construct a shrine in your capital, free of charge. Do many people in Restov venerate Erastil? They revere many gods in Restov. They pray to Abadar, the patron of cities, Pharasma, gatherer of souls. There are also some more rare cults, but there's no denying that the stag god has the largest congregation here, and no wonder. People here have lived off farming and hunting for centuries. It was an honor to meet you. Goodbye. Erastil keep us. I think we're almost done talking to people, except for Hannes Drelev. The man's gorgeous clothes hide rippling muscles beneath them. He looks past your ear, obviously bored. Baron Hannes Drelev, he says offhandedly, emphasizing the word Baron, and you must be the Stag Lord Butcher. I'm sorry, I quite forgot your name. But you took out the Stag Lord and his gang, and so Sword Lord Jamadi is granting you permission to take his place, right? Well, congratulations, my lands lie to the west of yours. I suppose we're neighbors now. Yes, I defeated the Stag Lord. Pray tell, what did you do to deserve your new dominion? A smirk appears on the Baron's face. I don't need to deserve or prove anything. Countless generations of my glorious ancestors have done so for me. If I had a slightly bigger army, Sword Lord Jamadi would have simply given all the stolen lands to me. Alas, I don't have so many soldiers at my disposal, so she had to urgently make barons of the likes of you and Varn. So you have no army, no special merits, and were given land for being pretty? Under other circumstances, I'd have you whipped for such words, but let's not ruin Lady Eldoria's celebration, huh? If you want so badly to measure merits, we can do so another time. You're not very polite for a nobleman. Huh. Politeness must be deserved. Goodbye. Not even deigning to reply, Baron Drelev turns around and looks away. And that's it. I think that's all the main people to talk to. I guess we can talk to Yosef Selemius. Maybe. An older man. Why is man highlighted? The Lord Mayor of Restov and an ally of Jamandi Eldori. Together with her, he dispatched contenders for the Baron's title to the Stolen Lands. Wilful Sibrins looks to you with interest through a golden eyeglass. While now, if isn't the hero of the festivities, the protege of our dear Jamandi. You pulled this off quite cleverly. I confess I wasn't convinced your enterprise would succeed. I even bet a bottle of my best Pitaxian wine against you, but I'm happy to admit I was wrong. The Eldori have always been adept at finding new talent. I don't believe we've been introduced. So it would seem, I'm Yosef Selemius, Lord Mayor of Restov. I rule this town and the adjacent lands. As your northern neighbor, I hope we can look forward to a long and fruitful friendship. So you rule Restov, and what about the Eldori? Brevoy's politics seem complex and incomprehensible to many here. In this part of Rosland, the spirit of northern freedom still lives. We are loyal to the throne, of course. May the gods prolong the life of His Highness. But here, far from the dominions of the great houses, we have our own way of life. It's especially important now, after the certain events that I probably don't need to name. The Eldori Sword Lords used to rule Rosland, and they're still the largest landowners and main military force in the region. But it's not for nothing that Restov is called a free city. We're proud to choose the Lord Mayor from among our citizens, considered not by lineage, but by their own merits. What events? Mayor Selemius gives you a patronizing smile. Why, an aspiring politician needs to be well informed. I'm talking, of course, of the disappearance of the ruling House Rogarvia. Can you imagine it? Old man Koral conquered our lands 2 centuries ago? It would be a shameless lie to say that nobody wished his royal house would just disappear into thin air. But once that exact thing happened, it turned out nobody was ready for it. Poof! All over the country, every member of the royal house disappeared without a trace. Nobody knows what happened. It's a mystery, but a mystery pregnant with opportunity for everyone. How are things in Restov? I don't want to boast, but things have been going well in recent years. Trade prospers, the population grows, and the citizens are happy. Although recently, especially after the disappearance of House Rogarvia, more and more troublemakers have been appearing, and people are talking about the most shocking things. But those sorts of rumors aren't worthy of your attention. Okay. Please wait a moment. Your young barony will need resources to establish itself, and from what I'm told, you're somewhat in need of financial assistance. I could organize and supply everything you need for the construction, and spread out the costs on extremely favorable terms. I could immediately procure, say, 500 cartloads of building supplies. I'm sure that would give you a good start. In exchange, I'd ask a small favor. Until you repay your debt in full, you simply assume the obligation of contracting building services through Restov's Builders Guild. Do we have a deal? Yeah, that's not a bad deal. Then it's a deal. I'll get everything in order right away and schedule a delivery immediately. Nice meeting you. The feeling is mutual. I look forward to hearing more of your dazzling successes soon.
So, how do you like our little gathering? I hope you've made some useful connections. Shall we move on to the official proceedings?
Before we begin, I'd like to talk about the envoy I'll be taking with me.
My apprentice, Kasil Aldori, will go with you, won't he?
Yes.
Whatever you choose, I won't argue. But you must choose your inner circle with the utmost care.
I'm ready for the ceremony.
Excellent. Stand here.
We are taking her person with us. I've done the other two.
Lords and ladies, today we are here to honor 3 brave people who have done the impossible. They've tamed the stolen lands. Baron Hannes Drelev, the new master of Glenabon, Captain Maegor Varn, the conqueror of Dunsword, and finally, the tamer of the Shrike Hills, who put an end to the atrocities of the Stag Lord's bandits.
We are pretty awesome.
Step forward. On behalf of the people of the free city of Restov, I confer upon you this noble title. Rise, your grace.
Alright, now we're returning as the land's rightful ruler. So we've taken Surtova's emissary in a previous playthrough.
Victory! The Stag Lord's dead, and the capital of the new barony has been built in place of his fort. That was how the long and challenging taming of the stolen lands began.
Greetings, Baron. Greetings, Baron. Keston Gares is here. And we took the other noble guy last time we played through the game, so we're going to take the Eldori one this time. Welcome, Your Grace. Keston salutes you. You can see he's a bit anxious, and it seems like he's rehearsed his speech many times. Let me once again congratulate you on your victory and your new title. Lady Jamandi transferred me here. I'm at your disposal. I'm not one to bestow honors, but I want you to know I'm glad to serve you. I'm here to welcome you on behalf of your new capital citizens. The Stag Lord's former stronghold will soon be a thriving city. Word travels fast, and the first settlers have already arrived, with new ones approaching as we speak. While you were visiting Restov, much has been done here. Your benefactors, the Eldori, invested a great deal of resources in rebuilding the city. I stand ready to answer your questions and to show you around to the most important sites. Where are my companions? They are all somewhere around here, but I can never keep an eye on who went where exactly. Well, I assume Tristian is with Jod, and you can always find Lindsay, just follow the noise and turmoil. Any citizens I should know about? Our old acquaintance Jod is here. Arasel's clerics normally don't like cities much, but he's eager to serve you. Also, the emissary from Brevoy is here, waiting for you in the throne room. There's also this curious matter. An elf has paid us a visit, a blind elf. Des only knows how he managed to get here. He seems a peaceful fellow, even pleasant fellow, although naturally a little odd, so I let him stay a while. It's up to you to decide what to do with him now. That's about all, I guess. What's the mood? I must admit, I've never seen anything like it in my whole life. A city, a whole barony, born right in front of our eyes. The people sense the moment, and today we're feeling proud. As a rule, I'm not too cheerful or chatty. I normally feel out of place among all the rejoicing, but today is just one of those days. I'm ready to look around, lead the way. Alright, where are we headed to? We have a lovely little slum with dirt streets. Greetings, Your Grace. We are, well, your new subjects. We're selecting a site to build our house. It's wet near the lake and windy up here on the hill. A fine place to throw garbage at your neighbors' heads, though. Ouch. A good thing you got rid of those monsters and bandits, Your Grace. Do you recognize this place, Your Grace? This is where the Staglord's fortress wall used to be. Not that it saved him in the end, huh? Ah, yes, a weapons store. We need to go there. Weapons and armor. Our workers did a fine job turning this bandit den into the heart of the town. Except that you left a bunch of chunks of wood everywhere. The heart of every town is the main square. We plan to hold street festivities and fairs here. Look, we already have our first vendor. Looks like an alchemist. A general store, maybe? I don't know. Greetings, Your Grace, the vendor says. If you turn to the right from the square, you'll end up straight in our tavern. Tavern's ale is blessed by Caden Kalian himself, I swear, and the lady who owns it is a gem. I've heard the Baron is tall as a troll and his hair of pure gold and can breathe fire. I have hair of pure silver. I definitely can't breathe fire, though. Oh, that's nonsense. Well, except for the part about breathing fire. All barons can breathe fire, trust me. Welcome, Your Grace. Glad to serve you. Our guards need more than quarterstaffs. Staves. Your Grace, those are our guards. They keep order in the city or keep their mouth busy. Something else that went too fast. Here's the observation platform. I hope one day your capital will grow large enough we won't be able to see its full extent from this perch. The building in front of us is your residence. That's where we'll head to now. We have a lovely little great hall. Oh, it's sending us inside. So now we've reached the main chambers. This is the throne room where you'll hold court and receive visitors. Let me draw your attention to this large map depicting your barony and its surroundings. We'll mark all important scout reports and other news worthy of your Grace's attention. Having finished his speech, Keston tucks his thumbs behind his belt and stands quietly. Greetings, Your Grace. Castle. Lady Jamandi's ward gives a polite bow. It was a pleasure to meet you at the Restov reception. On behalf of your allies and benefactors, the Altdori Sword Lords, I'd like to offer you some advice. So our barony effects from getting him were +6 community, +6 loyalty, +3 military, +3 economy, +3 divine, +3 arcane, and +3 stability. We also have a trade agreement with Surtova. We can set up a trade agreement with Yosef Salemius. As Vanki's offer, pillage the Temple of the Elk and rebuild the Temple of the Elk. We'll be rebuilding the Temple of the Elk, obviously. You can solve most of your barony's problems by granting appointments to the right people responsible people, but certain state business will demand your personal attention, as will the visits of equally or especially important guests. Reports of such outstanding events will be marked on your map, and you can always check it while considering your plans. According to the ancient traditions of Brevoy and most of the river kingdoms, rulers address the affairs of state and receive visitors at the beginning of each month. My advice to you is to maintain this tradition and regularly visit your capital when needed. The first thing you should do as ruler is assign people to the important positions in your barony. Your clerics Jod and Tristian were the first to seek an audience. I won't distract you further. I'll leave you to consider. Once again, my congratulations. May your rule be long and prosperous. Your Grace, allow me to congratulate you on receiving the title of Baron. I'm confident that you will be able to bring back order to these troubled lands. Jod stumbled slightly, though to be honest, this isn't exactly what we wanted to speak with you about. Tristian and I have been talking a great deal what happens at the Temple of the Elk. It doesn't make sense to us yet, but one thing is clear, there's a powerful curse at work. It corrupted the very essence of that sacred place, steeping it with putrescence. Ugh, I'm disgusted with whoever can do this. Jod exhales loudly and catches his breath. And now there's a new woe. Tristian and I believe the curse did not simply disperse of its own accord. There's a place near the capital, rumored by the locals to be cursed. Tristian and I visited this dreadful place, and we felt the same putrescence as the Temple of the Elk. What is the place? Where is it? There's a bald hilltop not far from here, to the north of the capital. Its crown is entirely barren of life. The locals believe that rituals glorifying the dead dark gods were held there, back in ancient times. There's no longer any trace of such rituals, but the air around the hilltop is heavy to the point of stifling. This place is like a rotting wound, closed but not healed. And this wound will undoubtedly open again. Tristian and I felt something approaching, something ominous. The curse will soon return to plague us once more, I swear by Erastil. I'll go there as soon as I'm able. I'd be happy to accompany you, but I would not expect to see anything new there at present. I agree with Tristian. We've been to this hilltop, it's barren, but filled with a dense atmosphere of unease. Well, what do you suggest? The curse will grow in strength, and we predict that it'll reach its peak in strength in about 1 month. That's when we should visit the bald hilltop and resolve this issue. For now, we can only wait and prepare. We beg your pardon, Your Grace, for intervening with you getting the grasp of your barony. I'm sure you have more pressing matters at hand right now. Well, we just got kicked out of that. Okay. We need to choose a name for our barony. Kyria. It's going to be the name of our thing. Alright, so we need to assign oh, we're actually way over time on our video. We'll assign advisors and then we'll call it a day. So our regent is going to be one of 3 people. Valerie, who's actually pretty good at it. Elira, who's really bad at it. And Octavia, who's sort of middling at it. Valerie is going to be our regent, and she will strive to follow the letter of the law. Perfect. And our counselor is going to be Tristian. Elira's really bad at being a... Oh, she's got... I see. Mercenaries get a penalty to their rolls. She also has 0 wisdom. I mean, we could make mercenaries with just min-maxed stats to be our advisors, but they still get this, that -4 debuff is pretty severe. So Tristian it is. We can also just re-roll Tristian to be better at his job too, if we really, really want to. Our general is going to be clearly Amiri, just straight up +6. That's really good. She favors the direct approach. Oh god, our treasurer is going to be Silane for now, I guess? Ooh. It's actually worse to have... You know what, we might just hire a mercenary and... No, because we need a lot of intelligence. I guess we could make a... We'll ponder that a bit, I don't know. We'll get back to that one. We can have either Jod, Harem... Well, Harem. He's good enough. He's got +4. Good enough for me. So we have 5 economic things, which are all of our projects. This has changed since last time. I like this. It looks a lot nicer. We can declare the outskirts part of our position. It takes 150 BPs, though. We have 450 BP currently. We should do this in the next video. We are over time. I'm also going to go take a look at the store between videos and see if I can buy things. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Others, I'll see you next time.